Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your state representative, Cary Condotta from Olympia, Washington, and we are starting to wind this session down. It looks to me like we will get out of here in 60 days, and why do I say that? Because we had our first budget introduced yesterday from the Senate, and the fact is we were all a little surprised. It looks like a go-home budget. It has some detail work to do, but in essence, it's exactly where I thought we would end up. We're going to see some more money for education, and hopefully, if it sticks, we're going to see some property tax relief, and you know that's what I've been pushing for. And a number of us had bills in that area, and it looks like that is going to come to pass. We'll see today when the House budget comes out what it looks like. What was surprising a little bit about the Senate budget is there was no additional revenue built in. No capital gains tax, no sugar tax, and of course no carbon tax, which was very surprising to all of us since it sounded like it had some momentum over there, but is not included in that initial budget. Now again, the House budget comes out today and it could have all those things in it, and then we'll have to negotiate for the next few weeks and see where it lands. But it looks to me like, based on the revenue we have and the fact that that budget looks very balanced coming out of the Senate, with a strong ending balance, strong spending on education again, and this wonderful property tax relief that looks like it might even go further than what I expected. This is a good combination, and I think the House will be hard-pressed to come up with anything much better or try to push the envelope. As you know, on the House side, there has been a lot of pressure to add additional revenue. Why? We don't know. We have almost $3 billion in additional revenue thanks to this incredible economy that's happened in the past 12 months here in Washington. And we have more than enough money to fund education, to cut property taxes, and to do a number of other things and still have a strong ending balance, which we should, because things can change at any time. So we will see what the House does, but I believe the Senate has taken the lead and probably will prevail, and we should be out of here on time. Now, on the policy bills, they're coming across into the House from the Senate to the House, and back and forth. By the end of this week, those will all be vetted out. Some will fly and some will die. There are some real stinkers out there. We'll see how they do. There's some very strong union bills that try to circumvent the Supreme Court decision, the Janus decision, which will come up in June. We've never seen anything quite so blatant in terms of attacking a potential Supreme Court decision. I'm not sure that bill or those bills will get out, but they're certainly there. We have the Voting Rights Act. We have the death penalty to talk about yet. So this is far from over, even though there's a few weeks to go, and the budget is the primary thing we're working on. There is a lot of policy bills that are still hanging in the balance. As far as the 12th District goes, things are looking pretty good. There is one bill that came out of nowhere. We didn't really expect it, but it's a BNO Tax Relief, a BNO Tax Reduction for manufacturers in rural areas. Now, that rural area is defined very carefully, and the fact is the 12th District is in that rural area. We are going to try to expand that bill further because a lot of areas of eastern Washington were not included, but what it does is it brings the manufacturing rate down substantially to try to attract those manufacturing jobs to the rural areas where they're needed most. That is based on a bill that was vetoed by the governor a few years ago, or a year ago, that gave a B&O break to all manufacturers, and that cost an awful lot of money, so the governor decided he couldn't spend it. But this bill is limited to rural areas, and we are included, and I think it could make some decisions for some of these big manufacturers as far as where they locate. So we're very happy that that came out of virtually nowhere at the last minute. Those are the things you never expect, but you're happy to see. And some other, of course, again, water, capital budget taken care of. We are looking very good. I did get the electric car bill we talked about earlier is going to come out, and it's actually going to come out better. The incentives were better and longer than what I thought. That's very important at this point as the cost of those electric cars comes down. We won't need those incentives much longer because the cars are getting more competitive, but we are going to electrify, as we have in the 12th District, at a rapid rate, and there's some great new products. As a matter of fact, in closing, I can tell you right outside, all the electric car manufacturers are sitting outside and we're doing test drives this afternoon on those. They're allowing all the legislators to drive these fantastic new products. They're clean, they're quiet, obviously, and with the electric prices that we have, extremely efficient to operate. Pretty interesting technology. And then, of course, we're going to extend those benefits to semis when they come out. I met with the vice president of Tesla Motor Corporation. That was a really interesting conversation. And the electric semis are coming to Washington State in a little over a year, and we'll be working on getting our fleet moving that direction as well. So things are moving really well and all in the right direction. I think we're going to have a great session and wrap it up right on time. This is your state representative, Cary Condotta from Olympia. And by the way, it's snowing outside. We've had record low temperatures and snow for the last day or two. Very unusual, but seems appropriate at this time while we're putting all these things together and finishing up, that we end the winter, end the session, and come home to a great spring and a great summer. I look forward to seeing you all back home very soon, and we'll check in one more time next week before we go.